I think for me, it hurt me in so many ways when the schools closed down because I started working as a substitute teacher. When I started, he's a teacher. He's a middle school teacher. I was a sub, and for me, the first thing, I'm cut off. Like I no longer was able to work, and I actually really liked it. So yeah, that was like the first thing that kind of hit me was like not working because I'm no longer working. Although I had a bartending job, I'm like, okay, I can still do that. But then after they closed the schools, then they shut down the restaurants, and everything just started. It was like a domino effect. So everything closed, and for me, like now, I don't work at all. I don't work anywhere. I don't do anything, and it got a little hard. It got a little, especially having to go to like going to grocery stores and going to do certain things, and then like you would go to like the grocery store, and we went to Fresno, and like the lot, they're only letting so many people in. And it's like I get that part, but then like standing in a line with a bunch of people, it's like, well, that's just as bad as us all being around each other because now we're standing in a long line with a bunch of people just standing outside of a grocery store just to go buy food to make sure we have food. And yeah, and it just like because we've been together for a while. We usually, our Friday nights were the time that that were our date nights, and it was just like all of our spots started to, and even like Tap, which we kind of frequent a lot. And then like before they closed, I went to Tap with an old classmate of mine, old college friend, and literally the next day, that's when they closed it down, and it was like, and it has kind of been the same, like, because you have to eat outside, you can't sit at the bar, you can't talk to a bartender, like, because that's kind of something I want to do. I like to do because I'm a bartender, so you couldn't do that, and it just, I think at first it wasn't as bad, but then when we got into like week 5 and like, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I'll have to piggyback on what she said. I'm a teacher, but I also own a restaurant, and so it was just it hit me twofold. And we were out of school since February, and it was horrible. And then on the restaurant side, initially it was just no one was eating out. Then all of the city ordinances were in place. We could only do takeout and so forth and so on. And it was just not good. And then it picked up. There were 2 phases. The first phase was horrible. The second phase, I feel like it kind of leveled out because people are tired of being at home. They still want to get out. So in the second phase, I feel like it's not really affecting us as far as the restaurant because people are they're kind of over the being quarantined. Yeah, I don't want to say COVID. They're not over COVID, but they're over being quarantined because they've been in hibernation since February.
March.
So February, March. So. But anyway, so it's affected us, our social life, tremendously, as she said earlier.
And now that my income's gone, it's just
it's just me. So like
now I have no I don't have any income.
Right. So I'm carrying I'm paying all the bills and stuff in the house and so forth and so on and it's just we used to go we used to have date night every Friday night, but that stopped. Because of the whole COVID situation, so I try to still take her out.
Yeah.
Tonight is one of those nights, and because she's home most of the day,
yeah.
And I want to get her out because she's always home. So this is one of those nights that we're trying to enjoy.
Yeah, but even back to the school thing, I think during the quarantine it was really hard because I have a son. We both have sons. We both have kids, and. In the beginning, trying to get because you're transitioning kids who have always been, my son's in the 4th grade, who's always been in class, to sit behind a computer at a certain time, and it's like, they can't distinguish classroom from home because they're still home, so they're gonna still lounge around, and it was like that became a hard thing for me, was like getting him up at that time at the computer, ready for the Zoom, conference with his teachers, and even I would walk past and hear the conference where other students were kind of like, it was just a hard thing I could imagine as a teacher, just like having these kids kind of all over the place just to get their attention, just to give them a lesson that you can't physically see what they're doing. They can't really, I thought that was pretty hard. So I think that I feel like my son's school eventually did a better job at it, but it's like it really did. I really had to play a part. Like I had to be a extremely active parent, and check what he was doing, go back, listen, like things like that, because everything was solely online and things like that. So it's been hard in a way, because it's like it's your norm. You've lived this norm for so many years. I'm 30 years. You've always been free to go, and it's like now you're on such a restriction.
It's definitely weird to see a lot of, especially here in Miami, where like everybody used to being out, especially on a Friday night. So when you go out and there's like this curfew, it's like, wow, everything is shut down. It's just surreal.
One time we went to South Beach right during the curfew. I don't know. No, we actually was walking. We just went for a walk and ended up walking from downtown to the beach. And I've lived in Miami all my life, and I've never seen it so dead.
Desolate. Yeah. It was.
You couldn't find one car.
It was just nothing. At one point it was just she and I
was just us
walking on Ocean Drive.
On Ocean Drive.
Of all places.
Yeah.
Where usually it's hustling and bustling.
It's a bunch of cars, it's a bunch of movement, it's a bunch of restaurants.
But it was dead.
It was so dead.
Yeah. But then we went a couple of weeks back, and it was.
Yeah, when they reopened. But the thing here now, they reopened, because even the bar that I was bartending at, they reopened it. And we're like, okay, well, I can go back to make money. And I probably did that for about 2 to 3 weeks. And then now we're back on the bars.
They shut everything back down.
So it's like
it's just very frustrating.
Well, I won't say it affected my happiness, but I know because now he's gone all day. Because before, when we both were working, we worked at schools. We know we both ran at schools, and we worked, we can text, we can talk, whatever. And then I was used to him. I came home later. I came home in the afternoon, and he would go to the shop, and then he'll come home a few hours later. But now he's gone all day. So it kind of, because I'm sitting home all day by myself. And it's like, I want him to come home. And I just look at the clock, and I'm like, okay, it's 4 o'clock. I got 2 more hours. Or it's 3 o'clock. I got, So that kind of started bothering me. But I just have to find things to do or binge watch something. But
I wouldn't say it affected our happiness, but it just definitely put a wrench in it.
Yeah. And I think also with the kids, because my son hasn't really been able to go out places, and I think it really bothers him. That's why he stays and plays video games so much, because he's had that switch since last year, but he plays it so much now, and then now that he can play online with other people, that's the only social thing he gets, because up until this weekend, he hasn't really left our house since last year. He hasn't stayed anywhere since last October. And then, my best friend took him for the week or this week, from Monday to Friday, and that was the first time he left home and been away. And I do feel bad because he doesn't really go, he doesn't get the interaction that he would get in school or just playing around. So I feel really bad for him.
I feel mostly bad for the people in the hospitality industry, because I know people that are in that industry, and it has affected their daily life, happiness, or whatever, because most of them were laid off.
Yeah.
So, in fact, the mayor closed all of the hotels and restaurants.
That was the first thing they closed, I think, the hotels.
And Airbnbs. So they couldn't pay their bills. So, they were on unemployment, but then the unemployment system crashed, and it took forever for people to get their checks, and it was just horrible.
And then this is the last month that they're giving the additional monies, because come August they're not giving it anymore. But I will say, I saw something today, and I really felt bad because they're not really when school starts in the fall. We're not, there will be on-campus schools. But then I seen a post about, what happens to the cafeteria workers, some of them who have worked that job for so many years. And, now they're out of that. And the security guards at the school and the office people, and, it just affects a lot of people that you wouldn't like. At first, I don't think I thought about it until I saw that, until I read that. They won't be